I'll put these back. So, okay, the last time my audio was scuffed, so I'm just gonna show you my spices and herbs again. Goodbye. Okay, Italian seasoning. Why is it flipped? Whatever. Ground chilies. This salt, herb salt that I got from Peru long ago. Not that long ago, 2003. Yep, in 2000, no, 2023. 2003 is long ago. I was not in any age to go travel to Peru on my own. So anyway, I went to Peru. I can repeat the story, I guess, because we because the previous stream was is like unwatchable. Honestly, it's unwatchable. So I had some plans, and then we were supposed to meet a friend who lived uh, in another country, and then we were gonna go to Peru together. And then plans changed, but I had already bought tickets to fly from LA to Peru because we were gonna do some stuff in LA. So I thought a return ticket from LA made sense. So I booked that first, and I hadn't booked the rest of the trip to Peru, which means I didn't know how to get from Singapore to LA first, right? Because then I have to get from LA to Peru, and I wasn't just going to fly to Lima, I was flying to Cusco, which means and then so that was another flight that I had booked already, which is the flight from Lima to Cusco and Cusco back to Lima. And so I had these flights available. So then what happened was I had to book a flight from Singapore to LA. And I think I'm not sure if there are straight flights from Singapore to LA, to be honest. I know there's one from here to New York. I know there's one from here to San Francisco. I don't know if there's one from here to LA direct. So, and I'm also, I'm not like, I don't churn up money. So I booked, and also by that point, because plans had changed so much and stuff like that, I was waiting on plans to confirm. By that point, the tickets to LA were limited. Actually, I think there was a straight flight from Singapore to LA, and then that was still decently priced. And then by the point that I wanted to book it, it was already off the table. So I had to book whatever I could, which was to book a British Airways flight from Singapore to London, and then London to LA, and then LA to Lima, and Lima to Cusco. So one whole journey was going to be 4 flights to get to Cusco. And I thought, I was like, okay, I can book these tickets. I can probably just chill in LA for a bit. But no, that would have been a wise thing to do. But I was like, you know what? Let's just get there. Let's just get to Cusco. So I did like a 4 flight marathon all the way to Cusco. The quickest way from here to Cusco is probably like here, take a flight to London, and then London straight to Peru, probably to Lima, and then from Lima to Cusco. So that would be 3 flights. That would have cut my flights down by 1, which means just 1 less layover. And honestly, okay, so this not only was it a 4-flight journey, the layovers were also pretty long. So it just took a really long time to reach. And then because my flight I had to book like separate flights, I guess, from yeah, from LA to Cusco. It wasn't all connected, so then I had to go through it. I think I had to get my bags and then put them in again. So that's cool. That's why I also chose longer layover period so that I wouldn't miss my connections, and also so I had enough time to get my bags, check my bags in again, and blah 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 blah. So at Lima, because it was a domestic flight, I had to go get my bags, and they couldn't just transfer my bags to the flight from Lima to Cusco from LA to Lima. And I haven't been in a country where I completely cannot understand or speak the language in a long time. Because Thailand, I can kind of understand and speak like very tiny bits of Thai to be able to get by. And then Japan, I can understand more than I can speak, but I can understand enough to kind of at least understand what's going on, and maybe ask for help, kind of. But but at least to be able to understand what's going on in my surroundings. And I I haven't experienced this not understanding what the heck is going on at all. Can't understand the signs, um can't understand what people are saying around me. So from Lima to Cusco, I was supposed to do my own baggage transfer. And I had no idea where to go. They told me I have to go to a counter, and I was like, where's this counter? So pretty much I had to move from the international terminal to the domestic terminal, and they were close by each other. So I was like, I have no idea what counter I have to go to. Like, do I have to go to the check-in counter again? They said no. So I was trying to ask, like, do I have to go to a check-in counter? They're like, no, no, no. You just go down that way, and then there's a counter, and that person will be able to help you. So I go and I go and I go, and I don't see a counter anywhere. I keep wondering, is that the counter? Is that the counter? Is that the counter? No counter still. Okay. And then, but I see the security line for the domestic terminal, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe the counter is inside. And I'm like, I don't know. So I asked them, I have this huge bag, it's a check-in bag. Can I bring it to this to security? And they're like, yeah, just bring your bag along. Just bring, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Obviously, don't say it this way, but they're just like, yeah, just go. And I'm like, okay, I'll just go. And I go, and I'm the only one with can I bring one or two bags? I had one bag. So I had one bag, and there's one big-ish bag, like 26, 27-inch bag. I don't travel with a lot of things, so maybe for some of you that's like, they're like, Cass, that's not that big of a bag. But to me, it's like, this isn't a cabin carry-on bag, right? It's a check-in bag. And I'm like, okay, I'm the only one with this huge ass luggage, just bringing it along. And I'm like going through security, and everyone's like, whoa, this person has a huge bag. And I try asking people in the queue, what do I do with this? Can I do anything inside? Can I bring this inside? And they're like, yeah, it's just fine, just go. So I go in, and I'm like, okay, I'm here. I still have my huge bag. I don't know if I can bring this on the plane. Where would they put it on the plane? And then I find the gate, and I go to the gate, and I don't know what to do at this point. I am delusional. I am tired. I haven't really slept much because I had 3 flights. At this point, a whole day probably has passed with very little sleep, or maybe even more than a day, more than 24 hours, potentially, actually, definitely more than 24 hours, right? Yeah. So here I am, don't understand anybody, nobody understands me, with my huge bag at the gate. And turns out you can write your name on a piece of paper and they'll put it on your bag and they'll just bring it onto the plane. Not with you, they'll just bring it onto the plane. I don't know where it will go on the plane, but they take your bag away. And I am nervous at this point because I don't know if my bag will end up on this flight properly. I don't know if this labeling system with me just writing will be any use or right. So this person goes around, they pass us all of these tags that we're supposed to write on. And then we're supposed to write like a specific number on it and stuff. Okay? I write mine, I put it down. And then later on, and then they take down the tag and they put it all on a list because I think they have to probably double check they are definitely on this flight and stuff. Later on, they say, hey, we need you to rewrite your tag. And I get really nervous because now I have two tags and they'll have 2 times of my name on this list. And when administrative things like this happen, it does make me nervous. And I really cannot lose this bag because I am traveling for almost 4 weeks and all of my stuff is in here. And then time comes to finally leave and go onto the plane. I am dying. The airport is small, noisy, and hot. And then I get on the plane. The person who was in LA really helped me out with the flight to Lima, and I think they also helped me out with this flight. So I had a really good seat, which I'm really glad for. They saw that I was traveling alone. They saw that I was traveling far. So the LA check-in person at the counter was really, really helpful. So I really appreciated that. And that changed my mind completely on LAX. LAX was nice and amazing, beautiful and natural. that trip. So here I was now on the plane, pray. I'm not religious, neither am I don't believe in any particular God, but I was like, please let my bag be at the airport when I get there. So I managed to sleep. The food on the flight was okay, I think this time. I think it was rice and chicken or something, which is great. And then I get to the airport. The airport at Cusco is small. I think probably the smallest airport I've ever experienced. Maybe even smaller than the domestic Bangkok airport. Smaller than Koh Samui. Anyway, small, very, very small. I think we were the second flight or the only flight to arrive that day, as in that during that time. So there was another flight that had come in, and then it was our flight. All of the luggage had been taken off of the, what is it called? The luggage carriage thing. The I don't know, what is it called? The carousel. And my luggage was, I was looking around. Okay, there were still some luggages on the carousel appearing, but most of them have been taken off. And I was waiting and waiting because I looked through all of the luggages on the ground already and mine wasn't there. So I thought, okay, maybe you know what? Because I came to the gate with my luggage, maybe it's just late. It's just coming in later. And I tell them on my tag, I tell them I'm this person, I'm on this flight. And they look at the list and they say I'm not there. They say I'm not there and my bag's not on the list. And I start to panic a bit. I mean, I'm not heaving or anything. I just when I get really stressed and I'm panicking, I get really devoid of emotions actually. I'm like, okay, mission now is find bag. If can't find bag, how do I shop in Cusco with the money that I have to get clothing? Where is there shopping in Cusco? So I I just think, you know what? Well, I'll just wait. I'll just wait at the carousel and hope and just hope. And at this point, I can feel that things are bubbling up in my chest. I can feel a bit of my feelings again. And and then I ask them for help. Again, I'm not on the list. So I walk around this whole small airport and I try and look for my bag. Okay, I start looking on the bags at the bags on the ground again. Okay, maybe I missed it. It was in between, sandwiched between two bags. But people have been clearing their bags out, so there are fewer and fewer bags on the ground. And mine really just wasn't where our flight's bags were. And then I thought, you know what? The other flight came in. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go look over there at their bags. At the other side, I walk across this tiny airport, and I look among their bags, and there my bag was. I didn't know what to feel at this point. I think I was happy, but also I was happy, relieved, but also I wanted to burn something down. Like, why is my bag on the other side? But okay, you know what? It was on me too because I didn't know where the counter was. I could have probably gone through a proper process to get my bag on the flight in a proper way. So it was also on me. But man, I was like, why is my bag on that side and everyone's bags are on this side? And the some people actually did have to brought their bags on the at the gate, and they also or they had cabin bags that they said that okay, you're not bringing it onto the cabin, can we want to keep it in the cargo. So they also went through the whole tag list thing. So it wasn't just my bag that was on the list and was tagged. There were other people who also did that. So I was the only one who brought such a big bag through security. So yeah. So then I was very glad I had all my things. I was very relieved. And I was relieved for the journey to be done. I'm like 4 flights. I just want to die right now. I'm deranged. I don't know where I am in time. I'm tired. I'm dying. I want to eat. I don't know what time zone my body thinks it's in. But it was daytime. It was morning when I arrived in Cusco. It was 11 a.m. 11:30 a.m. And but I definitely did not feel like it should be 11:30 a.m. So yeah, I arrived at the hotel, and I also hadn't showered for 4 flights, so I felt disgusting. I felt tired. Didn't know what to do. So there I was, and I really didn't want to sleep in the bed without showering because like I'm so filthy. I have to sleep in this bed for a few nights. So I took a shower, and it felt really good to shower. But also I think when I settled in, it felt like I felt like my body was crumbling because it's like, oh, we can finally just die now. We've reached the location. We don't have to hold on anymore. We can just start to malfunction and die. And so I took a shower and then I took a nap. And when I woke up I really contemplated whether I should take a nap, because I thought if I take a nap, I may ruin my sleep for a while. And I decided to take a nap because I my head was hurting so much. Light was hurting me. I didn't know what to do. So I took a nap. And then I woke up and my body did not want to do anything. And I was like, I'll pay anything. I'll pay anything for room service, for food to just come to me. I call the front desk. Hi, is there anything I can eat? Room service? Anything? No room service. And I'm like, no, no, I can't even pay to win. I can't even pay to win. So they're like, hey, you can come down to the front and we can tell you where to go to eat. So I said, okay. I go down to the front. When I was ready to face the world again, I wasn't ready. I just had to. I'm like, I can't starve. I need to eat. And then I go to the front and they say you can go down this street here, here, here. They point out some restaurants. I'm I remember I saw a chicken place on the way in that's just 2 streets down, and I said I'm going to that place. I don't want to think. I don't want to have to walk too far. I just want to go eat some chicken and fries and vegetables and then come back and die. And I wanted to just eat a very, very, very big meal and not have to go out again. And then maybe buy some stuff that I could just eat in the room. So that was what I did. So I ate. I think the people at the restaurant were like, "Wow, is this person okay?" Because I probably said like this, like, and then when they ask me questions, I would be like, "Yeah." So they helped me out, and then I ate nice chicken. And apparently in Peru, the chicken is really really good, and potato was really good too. And actually, all the produce was amazing, and I enjoyed the meal. I made myself eat as much as I could, and then brought some back. So that I had dinner too. Yeah, I thought I was on the brink of falling sick too, and I was sniffing essential oils like a druggie, but I was fine. I had I was still taking my supplements on the flight, making sure that I was eating okay, making sure that I was resting, keeping my stress levels as low as possible, doing breathing exercises so that I managed my stress levels, making sure I was taking naps. So I managed it all as best as I could. And I didn't have any altitude sickness too, so great. I just don't think I get that, which is kind of cool. And I had bought, because I was worried that I was going to have altitude sickness, I had bought 14 days worth of altitude sickness pills. And now they're still here. I mean, they're probably I don't know, when do they expire? Can I gift it to somebody? You can't gift medication to people. So I just spent money on that. Yep. So that was my journey to Cusco. After that, I was done traveling for a while. I was done traveling for a while after that trip. Uh, Other than to meet my partner in New York later on that year. But yeah, and that's part of why I'm not really traveling too much this year, other than saving to move house later on this year. But yeah, it's because I had so many long flights. Yeah. I recommend taking, if you're going to South America from the southern hemisphere, to go some other way. Do not do this. Maybe don't even fly through the US. Some people do the straight flight to New York and then from New York to Cusco. I think there might be I don't know if they have to still fly through Lima. But that helps. That cuts the flights down a lot. So do that. Don't be like me. Okay, we got 18 minutes. Now that this is cooking, I can bring my laptop here